Morning, this is Paul Palmer. Today I'm going to talk to you about logistics. Now, there's two sides to logistics. First of all, of course, you've got good distribution practices. So you need to make sure that you've got the right products going to the right place at the right time. Make sure you pick the right one, make sure you pack it at the right time, and make sure the collection is arranged as it should be. Of course, there's a lot more to it than that. But the type of logistics I want to talk about is the project logistics today. So when you've got somebody coming to a meeting, you need to make sure you've got the room available, make sure you've got the facilities that you need, and make sure if any other people there also have the same details. But what about if it's further afield? What about when you're going to another site? So you need to think about making sure that you've got all the availability for all the people at the right location. Now it could be that you've got some flying in, and you've got some coming on the train, some on the car just driving in, and some already there because it's their normal base. So how do you sort out the logistics? Well, what is usually a good idea is to get the worst one first. But then which is the worst? In the pandemic, it could be the plane, it could be the train. So you set a date and give yourself time. Give yourself time to make the arrangements. Make sure everybody's available for a start. So that would be always, for me, the first step. Make sure the people that you actually want there have the time available on the day, but also have the time available to get there. I had a meeting 2 years ago, I think it was. I traveled to the US. I landed, I think it was New York. Yeah. JFK, I think it was. I had it booked for about a month, I guess, beforehand. But the week before I went, the schedule changed. I had to go urgently to meet a client to resolve some issues. Now, when I was looking into the issues, I found out what the problem was, that it was a communication problem. And I got there and I got to their site. Now, I was supposed to be going somewhere else on the way, but because of the travel time needed, it wasn't going to be possible. So I decided, well, I'll go for the meeting and go for the other one on the way back. So the meeting I got there, I arrived, and we were working around the building. I thought, this is a bit strange. It was a huge site. I don't know, 20, 30, 40 different buildings for this one company. So they booked a room on the right side, and on the site, they booked a room. We were walking around, and they took me to the place that wasn't the correct room. So we carried on, we went round the building again and found the correct room. Sat down, we were waiting for the other participant. Maybe waited 10, 15 minutes. Somebody else, one of the others arrived, not the main one that we were waiting for from the quality team. And then the last person to arrive said, oh, sorry, unfortunately the quality representative can't make it because they were booked for this meeting and another meeting on a different site, and unfortunately they're on the other site. So they couldn't join. And I guess they decided to just take an alternative meeting. And because they didn't even join remotely. So it was okay. The people that were involved in the discussions, the people that were aware of the details, were there. But unfortunately, the quality representative, who I'd gone specifically to meet up with to assure them of our improvements in performance, didn't turn up. So this is a case of logistics at the last minute. Now, there were multiple problems with this trip. Firstly, I wasn't intending to go there in the first place. At the end of the meeting, it was too late for me to go to my original appointment. The trip itself, well, the logistics in the building, they didn't know where the room was. They had a reference number, but unfortunately the layout had changed. So we got to the room. Within the room, there was no availability for a remote call anyway. And it just, the booking had been made last minute. So it was understandable that the review of the other participant hadn't really had much time to take place. I was already going to be there for the other meeting. So we just took advantage and I went to meet with them. But the logistics just didn't work. It fell over. And it's a significant problem, I find, in the pharmaceutical industry, especially with the globalization of the organizations. I often have been to meetings where somebody from another country has not turned up. Oh, sorry, I thought it was at this time. And you use your calendar to be able to coordinate so that you can get the time zones right and turn up. But I guess sometimes people put it in manually. Maybe they're not on the same system, so they can't add it automatically to their schedule. And it doesn't work. And you get an hour's mismatch and then you can't meet. I use a system called OneShub that ensures that it actually aligns the different time zones. So the person booking a meeting with me can select the time that meets them in their time zone, and it automatically has the content on there ready for my schedule in my time zone, so that it confirms what's available. So, logistics. It's not just a case of moving things around, it's moving people as well. You need to make sure that you get your timing right. Make sure you get your travel as well as your actual time at the location. Because to me, that's actually the thing that falls over the most, is allowing enough time to travel. I had another interesting one. I went over to Singapore and I agreed to go and do an audit. Just pop over to Japan while I was there. Because if you look at the map, when we look at it in the UK, it doesn't look like it's too far. But I didn't check the details. Somebody else was booking the flights for me. 6 hours. 6-hour flight from Singapore over to Japan. No time to prepare anything. No time to rest. Straight into an audit. Certainly won't be doing that again. In future, I'll always check the travel details first, as well as the on-site time. Because historically, I've always checked the on-site time first, make sure I'm actually available. Now I check both, on-site time and travel. Okay, that's it for me for today. Thanks. Talk to you soon. It's £4.